Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today, and these stories come from here in Birmingham. And this is an update to a story that we covered last year about a shooting at a chicken shop on Rookery Road in Handsworth. This story broke via the Birmingham Mail, and we reacted to the CCTV footage that was released, showing the moment that gang members opened fire in broad daylight on a group of 5 males. There has been several murders in Birmingham this year that the police say are gang related. And this incident, they say, was down to a postcode battle. They say the gang members that they've jailed are from the B19 area. They were jailed after blasting firearms into the chicken shop and people had to run for cover. Adonijah Stewart and Dahmileon Allen opened fire into an alleyway and the chicken shop on Rookery Road in Handsworth. The CCTV showed the moment they jumped out of a car, hooded up, and stormed across the road in between traffic, waving their pistols. Terrified customers and staff were sent fleeing, and others seen scrambling over the takeaway counter in a desperate bid to avoid the deadly gunfire. The third gunman was never identified, but Stewart and Allen, both members of the B19 gang, were sentenced to 5 years and 8 months each in prison on Friday, March the 12th. Stewart was 17 at the time and Allen was 18 during the incident. Both pled guilty to possessing a firearm with intent to cause fear of violence at previous hearings. They say the pair were passengers in a blue Peugeot car that was driven from Melbourne Avenue in LaSalle to the scene of the shooting on April the 20th. They were armed with modified pistols, they said, that was given to them, they assumed, by a senior gang member who instructed them to do their bidding. The teens arrived and shot at 5 to 6 people that were stood in the street. The prosecution told the court that Mr. Stewart led the way, followed closely behind by Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen ran from the Peugeot and his aim was very concentrated on those that were running down the alley. Smoke was seen coming from the gun and the kickback of the discharge. There was a high risk of serious injury or murder at this scene, they said in court. And they said retaliation was also a high probability from the other gang. The ammunition was modified, they said, to make it more dangerous. And this is definitely something that stood out in court. They don't specify why the ammunition was modified. But that is a very interesting and definitely something that is new. And I'm sure the police will definitely be keeping an eye on that. Following the shooting in which no one was hurt, the trio fled in a getaway car and were back in Melbourne Avenue within minutes. The court heard the guns were likely handed back to gang members and they have never been found. Stewart's catalogue of previous offences were detailed in court. They range from possession of a knife to attempted robbery when he was 14 and possession of crack cocaine and battery in his later teens. The defence solicitor for Stewart said back in June a social worker had expressed concern about the company that he was keeping. He was identified and arrested very soon after the shooting and he demonstrated remorse and regret as well. Richard Butler, defending Allen, told the judge that I suggest gang members that use these youngers do not care about who does their bidding. They are 2 young men that were sent out to do an attack for somebody else. Mr. Butler says that Allen understood the sentence was a deterrent, adding that otherwise there would be chaos on the streets of Birmingham. Sentencing the gang members, Judge Martin Hurst said, the facts are disturbing and tragically not unfamiliar in the city. A larger part of this actual incident was caught on CCTV and anyone who was there was genuinely terrified. These were not imitation firearms, they were real. There was no distinction between the 2 of you and you were the youngest members of the gang and you were sent to do their dirty work. When they jailed Allen for the gang attack, they said that he was driven to the Handsworth scene to attack his rivals. The judge says you went there to kill people with semi-automatic weapons and it's only by sheer luck that you didn't. So this is the latest in a series of convictions and cases about gang violence in Birmingham, and we'll definitely keep you updated on anything else to do with them cases. And as regular viewers of the channel will know, I turned up to a lot of the scenes of these shootings as well to document what was going on and to show people the reality of what happens in the city. And we also covered the murder of Kean Lincoln in Handsworth as well this year. And sadly on the 14th of March yesterday, a 17-year-old was shot on Grove Lane. He was taken to hospital in a stable but serious condition, but are not thought to be life-threatening injuries. Police say that men jumped out on the road in Handsworth and opened fire fire yesterday evening. So sadly, this just goes to show that the violence in the city is at no way abating or is slowing down. So we need to do as much as we can to educate and keep the kids aware of the risks that they're taking when they do decide to go on road. I really appreciate you joining me for this episode. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Peace.